Why does it matter to have an industry standard for credit reporting? The reason it matters is because of how the FCRA is designed. The FCRA is a reasonable procedures statute. In other words, the FCRA basically imposes that the credit bureaus, the furnishers, and other related parties, in general, employ reasonable procedures to conform with the FCRA. On the high level, what we're talking about is telling stories. The credit bureaus are telling stories about you. And so in essence, they're supposed to have reasonable procedures to make sure that story is truthful, or in other words, accurate, since we're dealing with data. If we take a look at the FCRA, 1681E, B is where this accuracy requirement is spelled out, and it's one sentence. Whenever a consumer reporting agency prepares a consumer report, it shall, which means will, follow reasonable procedures to assure maximum possible accuracy of the information concerning the individual about whom the report relates. In other words, whenever a consumer reporting agency creates a consumer report, it shall have procedures to make sure that that information is of maximum possible accuracy. The issue here is that the word accuracy is not actually defined in the FCRA. And what I mean by that is there are sections of the FCRA, 1681B in particular, if we go to that, where, 1681A, where you've got the definitions. Okay, 1681A is your definitions. And here are words that are specifically defined. Well, if we go back to 1681E, accuracy is not a defined word. And so, although the law spells out the standard, which is maximum possible accuracy, it leaves it up to plain English, interpretation, case law, and industry standards to define what accuracy is. So when we understand that there is an industry standard known as Metro 2 that was designed to conform to this maximum possible accuracy requirement, all of a sudden we now have a viable definition for accuracy to use. We don't even really have to guess about what it means. And because it's an industry standard, it's really one of the most authoritative sources that you can use because it was created and is adopted by the credit bureaus themselves.